Fortunato! Yeah! What? Are you recording?
Damn, girl.
Hey, guys.
It's not the intro. I'm just letting them know we're in the car.
It's the intro now.
Are you sure it's the intro?
Yeah.
I don't even know.
Are you using this footage?
I possibly will. But, Tim just sketchily mounted the GoPro on top of the car.
Pray for Xavier's GoPro.
Pray for rain.
Alright, we're just coming to you when we get to Fortunato.
And I'm facing the wrong way.
We have arrived. Boom.
What's up?
Funny guy.
Right on time.
Jump it off.
We didn't talk about anything because we were waiting on you to come in.
We did talk, but it's fine.
Already starting the game without me. Not even right.
You
All right.
didn't bring my backpack, did you? I don't need it. Do I?
Yep.
Do I? How much stuff do you want to put in it? I mean, I'll take this.
Man, Greg came ready.
Yeah. Swag.
That's why it's so cold in the car on the way up here.
Dude, this whole drive here, this whole drive here, man, Greg got Tim and I freezing.
Makes me want to build an office even more. Just so I can put stuff up that I don't make or nothing that's fancy. Really?
Which box is mine?
Yeah, see, I have a dealer tag, so I'm
gonna say that one.
The one that says
Yeah, I got pulled over by the state cop for
Blue's
tail lights.
that one.
And he realized
Is that your name?
DOT approved.
Caught you off guard. All right. Hello,
Hey.
Bandito gang. Saw you on Instagram.
Yep.
Nice to meet you. Easy
Nice
day.
to meet you.
I guess now that we are all here at Fortune Auto, tour time.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take this jacket off. So we got a quick rundown on the style of coilovers you have here.
Oh, we have the best style.
Oh yeah.
All of them. So starting from the right, our 500 series is your like entry level basic street shock, occasional track use stuff. These are, for the everyday driver, autocrosser, occasional track use car.
Yeah.
These come standard with, our race springs, camber plates where called for. They're pretty fully adjustable, 24-way single damper adjustment.
But they're your entry level.
They're the entry level stuff. However, there's tons of options that can be applied here. Swift springs, Hyperco springs, radial bearing mounts on McPherson strut applications. We've got rear extenders. Most all of our applications can use either the air cup or the RDC.
Yeah.
However,
I was looking into the air cup.
Yeah, and however, using them together is
Yeah.
is a feat. So there's a little machining and stuff has to be going into.
Tim's
that,
been
so.
telling me about the air cups for many, many years.
Yeah, I actually got the main hoop of my cage and the halo hoop. They're welded together and airtight, and there's a hole drilled between.
Oh,
So
right,
that
yeah.
can be the air tank.
Yeah, that's like old Porsche racing chassis
Yeah,
stuff
yep,
right there.
yep.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
So then 510 series is our entry level motorsports shock. The difference between 510 and 500, while they're both single adjustable shocks, the internals are completely different. So this runs a completely different piston, valving, jetting, oil, everything's different. External architecture is the same, so you can go from 500 to a 510 later down the road. Let's say you're tracking the car more and it becomes more dedicated.
And you'll just actually swap the shock body itself, I guess.
Well, no. So we'll actually take the whole shock in, and if something like, let's say, a body is damaged or shaft's damaged or something like that, we can replace that and build.
Oh, so you just
into
replace the
500s.
valving then? To
Yeah.
upgrade.
So when we do change over to a 510, the shaft and the jetting is different. So we run a totally different shaft as well.
Gotcha.
So yeah, and then of course there's
Yep.
options for these as well. Aluminum bodies are an option. Same options we have over here. Aluminum body is the biggest difference on these. On like double wishbone and multi-link applications. So no McPherson strut. On
These are what X got.
Yep.
The S2000. So we'll do a nice install video.
Your name written all over it.
These are pretty hard.
You're never gonna go to a
510s are
track.
good.
Come on.
What? What type of nonsense are they talking? I'm definitely going to the track. Racing the Datsun. It's going to happen. Mm-hmm. Lightweight, baby.
And then the Pro 2As are double adjustable motorsport shock. Rebound adjustment and compression adjustment are independent of each other.
Yeah.
So you really have a lot more range to adjust and dial in grip and or motion control. These pretty much come standard with every option.
Yeah.
And again, they're all built to suit. So, his S2000 510s are kind of built with his application in mind. Same with the Pro 2A stuff. So they may not be the same as every S2000 set that we build because somebody may be running more aero, bigger tire, stickier tire, something like that. Different weight, different engine. So all those things go into consideration when building these, from spring rate to the shock valve and stuff.
Quick question.
Yep.
I noticed these springs are different than the 510 springs, I guess.
These are Swifts.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
so the Swift springs are an upgrade for the 510 and the 500, and they're standard on the Pro 2As. And we also have a hypercoil option as well.
Cool.
So what's the biggest difference when you're talking about like just rebound itself and everything? So how could you explain that in a simpler way, basically?
So the easiest way to explain them is just their actual nature. So rebound is how fast the wheel is coming back out.
Yeah.
Compression is how fast the wheel is being compressed or coming in towards the body. So basically what we're able to do with these is adjust how fast we want these things to move around. That's what moves the weight of the car around. So imagine
there's a valve on each side letting it in and then
so
letting it
for
out.
the double adjustables, the rebound adjustment is done on the shock, and the compression adjustment is done on the canister.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fancy.
And then triple adjustable shock is very similar to this, just another compression adjustment, which really changes a lot of the dynamics across the whole spectrum. So essentially, all of our shocks come with like dyno graphs and plots, so you can see. It's a roadmap for the way the shock performs at specific settings.
Yeah.
These come with like 6 graphs because as you change the different compression adjustments, it changes the graph across those parameters completely.
So when you're saying there's more valving in these, basically,
Yeah, so essentially there's 2 compression adjustments, so we're able to change the high speed and the low speed force values of the shock. Single rebound adjustment, but within these 2 adjustments, you can completely change the way the shock reacts. So it's very different from this one where essentially 12 clicks is always going to be 12 clicks, and then over here 12 clicks on high speed, but 3 clicks on low speed is going to change when we change the 3 low speed clicks up to 6 or 8.
Yeah.
So now we've got a whole new.
so it's a
shock.
lot of adjusting of both at the same time.
It is,
Fine.
yeah. There's a lot of math. You have your fingers out and count everything. So, yeah.
Cool.
What are you pointing
Dang,
at me
boy,
for?
you fanboying over these. Just go ahead and buy
I don't
them.
do that.
Just go ahead and
I'd
get
be
it.
good with the 500s.
All right, so next up.
Well, then you already talked about the airlift system, but
Yeah, the air
you can
cut.
add it to. So you can add it to.
You can add it to most applications, not everything though. There are physical requirements for that, so not everything applies.
Yeah, but it looks like I've seen other like air cup systems that have like a bigger. It looks like a pretty small diameter cup. So it feels like you could probably fit it almost anywhere.
So that cup there is an earlier version of the cup. We actually have 2 versions of this cup. One where the cup sits entirely on top of the spring, and the spring sits entirely below the cup. And that's for like larger applications where we have the excess room.
Yeah.
And we have another
Because your
design.
spring's a lot shorter.
Yeah. So we have another design where the spring is recessed up into the cup, and that's for the shorter, like tighter, more compact applications. everything however you want.
Oh,
So it's like
a
it's basically
mechanical
a
system.
small, and
Yeah.
then so this just stays on top of the.
So this
Screwed into the
actually
top
mounts
of the-
remotely. There's flexible cable that will
okay.
mount to the top of the coilover. You essentially just take the clicker mechanism off the top of the shock shaft, and then put this on top. It has like a 90-degree elbow right on top of it, so that it doesn't have to like protrude and be up really big.
Yeah.
And then that way you can mount these anywhere in the hood, anywhere in the engine bay or in the trunk or wherever. So they don't have to sit right on top and be right up in the way. You can put them wherever you want. And then, of course, this system comes like with everything. Comes with the controller interface, the modules, and then the stepper motors and all the wiring and everything. Like even cars like Formula Drift.
Didn't he win in the Evo last? Was it last year? 17?
So Will's Civic,
I mean, not
he got third
the
place.
Evo. Oh yeah.
Second place.
So what you telling me is you contemplating this two-way system. I see it in your eyes.
Is this like a helper spring added to this, or?
Yeah. So that one's just been added there for the display. I mean, everything has its usage and everything has its
Yeah.
purpose. So like I said, everything's.
And if a customer calls up and is like, "Hey, I don't really know what I'm doing, but this is what I'm looking for," like
Yeah,
when
oh, yeah,
Xavier
we-
called and was like, "Hey,
Oh, dude, I was so lost. And I seen when they asked about like spring rate and all that. I was like, oh Lord, I don't know what I'm
you
looking at.
guys help out and
Yeah, that's probably my main grind during the days.
Yeah.
It's answering those emails and phone calls and.
what is the weirdest question you've gotten from a person? That's like,
Oh man.
I like that
put you on the
question.
spot.
Some of them, where somebody goes gung ho and buys, something that's really heavily performance oriented, and then
put it on there.
they
Like,
put it
wait.
on there like I don't know how do I make it lower, and then by the end of the phone conversation you realize that they haven't taken it off jack stands yet. So
We
See, I'd
had
be the
a
opposite way. Like, it would have to completely break down before I'm calling a helpline. Like, hey.
very old-fashioned mind.
Wait, so how did you decide your spring rates?
I think
I recommend
he
it.
did it.
Oh, really? Okay.
Thank
I
you.
was like, Xavier would have some crazy spring rates. He'd get the 20Ks, 40Ks.
Yeah, I don't know.
40K rear, like 2K front.
All right, so that's the office down there.
Yeah, this is the glamorous part right here. Everything in here is like our sales offices and marketing, and then tech is me for the most part. And
Actually, all the different like clocks you guys have.
all around the world. So sitting here, I hear every single one of those ticks. All
Oh,
day.
it's like a constant tick for each one of them. Some global time attack.
Yeah.
We need one of those with California. I call all the time, and I'm like, wait, no, it's like 7 a.m. there.
My favorite.
I always forget.
Conversations with like Australia and New Zealand, and they're like eating breakfast, and it's like 4 o'clock in the afternoon here.
Yeah.
But it's like the day before, so
Yeah.
or
Oh.
it hasn't happened yet. Yeah, it's in the future.
Oh wait, I need my bag. Come on. Oh, I thought you like watching my stuff or something. Had me all spooked.
No, we actually found that in the warehouse. The other day.
Oh,
You can see straight through
Ew,
that.
that's,
He was
that's
back there
real?
for a while.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
That's creepy.
In here is where everything is built. We take all the sets, like your 510 set, for instance. Everything gets brought in here from the mounts to the springs and stuff like that. And then each builder has a station with a sink and his own dyno and everything. So has all his parts that's needed to make each set, and that way it can be start to finish. One guy handles everything. It helps with the continuity of the product. Everybody's they're building the same thing. They have both shocks are side to side, that they can compare the dynos to. They're not trying to compare a dyno that someone else is building. So that way they're getting the same thing over and over. And then also it helps with QC. So if there's an issue somewhere down the line with something, we'll be able to tell exactly where it started from.
You have any that you're assembling now, or?
So right now we're building 500 series stuff today, actually, because Black Friday was like, a huge, doing like months of business in a couple of days. So it's kind of hectic in here. That's why there's like so many boxes and stuff like that in here. So we're not building anything cool today, but they're still cool. Yeah, they're still. Don't get me wrong, they're still cool. But yeah, so as far as in here, we build everything from the 500 series, the 510, the double adjustable triple adjustable. Everything gets built in here, and like I said, from one guy starts and finishes the whole process.
So this is I guess the Dyno Station?
Yeah, so this is like a whole build station. You get an idea of like everything, like all the auxiliary parts, shock body links, everything is in here that we need to build a shock. We've got this. He's got bags of shims over here, but essentially they're all in tubs. Each guy has
Quality
their own
sweet
method.
tea.
Their own method. So
Definitely need the
try not
sweet
to
tea
mess
to
with
keep you through the day.
You stopped at that Wawa.
Yep.
But yeah, so they have everything. We can build in the sink, dyno, and then match shocks together too. So
We were wondering what the actual oil was.
yeah,
It's like that weird blue.
Dude, it looked like
Yep.
Kool-Aid almost.
Yeah.
I was like, dang, I got thirsty.
This is a nicely mounted vise.
Oh, yeah.
We need to get us one of those.
Yeah.
One day, they'll worship us then.
What is this for? This actually holds the body?
So that holds like shock shafts and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So actually, here I'll show you. This is like a piece that we use to cut RDC tops, but essentially you can just clamp shock shafts. So when you're building two fronts, you can clamp two front shafts in here, slot all your shims and the piston and everything else
Yeah,
in
'cause
there.
your fronts are gonna be
assemble them
exactly the
both
same,
together, and then that way when you go to fill them in the body and put them in the body, you've kind of built two identical things. They don't always turn out identical, of course, so that's why, or the beauty of being able to build stuff here in house and have
You can test it right
you
there.
can test it immediately and say, oh, this one's 35 pounds off. Take it apart, rebuild it until we get them to match.
It also allows you to have really good quality control. in
Yeah,
a sense.
so we run
Yeah.
a pretty tight tolerance on motorsport shocks. We run everything below like 3%. So most of the time they come a little tighter than that. So
Yeah.
You don't just match up a set of 4 that were all like 35 pounds below.
no.
That's what I would do.
Well, I mean, each application's different. So it's not like we have a base profile for what each shock should be built per application. So like we have a base for S2000 fronts and a base for S2000 rears, and then we modify that according to spring rate and aero or whatever the rest of the usage is going to be to really maximize what we're building.
Yeah, so if you build 4 of them though, and like the last one's 35 pounds off, that's just like the spring? Or is that?
Well, no. So this will just dyno the shock itself.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So, I mean, you can dyno everything on it if you wanted to. Sometimes we have to do that for like service analysis, like something's making noise or there's a knock somewhere, but when you dyno the shock, it doesn't happen.
Yeah, we need one of those.
Reed.
So-
We did the same thing on
Xavier's
his car
left
the other day.
rear.
That's why he ended
Yeah.
up getting the Fortunes.
right.
We were trying to figure out what was wrong with his car.
I have a
Like,
very
sitting there
haunting.
pushing on the coilover, like, is this it? I don't know.
Yeah,
Like,
so
it
that
is.
way you have everything here in front of you, and then you can run it at different speeds. So we'll just run it, like say there's a knock issue, we can run it to the speed where it starts creating the knock, and then isolate the sound or vibration
Yeah.
according to where it's at. And depending if it's just a shock that we're having an issue with, we'll be able to see it in the graph. And we run a couple of different types of shock graphs. We run one that's called a CVP, and that is actually like a 4-stroke graph that tells us the health of the shock. It tells us if there's a lot of hysteresis or turbulence inside the shock and what it's doing, where it's at on each stroke. So it tells us, hey, there's a problem here on the rebound side, or there's a problem here on the compression side, and that way, we do that one first. If there's an issue there, and instantly comes back off and gets rebuilt and fix it from there. Then after that, we do a PVP, which is a point velocity plot, and that's really the roadmap graph. That's the one that you get the cool knee, and you can see what the shock is doing at what rate.
Wait, that's what you get in the box?
Yeah, that's
With
the
your
one that comes in
coilovers?
the box. Yeah.
It's cool I see this now because I was watching like a KW video and I just seen their workouts. So it's like, now I get to see how stuff is made.
Yeah,
What's
it's
like,
a little different than KW stuff because they mass produce so much, and
Yeah,
they,
it is on a bigger
and they
weight,
produce for like OEM stuff too. So they are in their mass production on a big scale.
KW is like buying like a Michael Kors suit, and this is like having a custom tailor.
Yeah.
Yes.
the difference.
This is very
like that
hands-on.
now.
Very hands-on.
And you get to talk to the guy that's going to help you make your decisions, because I'm going to need some help for sure. Matt, what is the lead time usually on like a custom set?
So 500 series, the first half of the year, what we call busy season, that's usually the full 4 weeks, maybe sometimes 5. you know,
That's
at
not
max.
bad at all, really.
The 510 series shocks, there's a lot more involved in those. Those have come with a 5-week build time, and double and triples are 6 weeks. So
That's still
the,
not bad.
the more in depth the build gets, the longer it takes.
Yeah, of
but
course.
at the same time, we try and put as much attention to detail in each one, because that's otherwise what are we doing it for?
Yeah.
So we try to make them all pretty perfect.
Hold on.
The amount of dust on these vehicles, he said that this is their storage. Yeah, versus a body shop, they would be
Man,
20 minutes.
we'll show
Your
you when
car
we
is
get back.
already really dusty.
Yeah.
It came in dirty. It's gonna leave even more dirty.
So we kind of, since we had such a big open space, we kind of designed it to be, have a little bit of flow. So we have an area over here where we bring in all of the new product, the new parts and pieces, and we store them in our warehouse area over there. And then what's being immediately built or being put into production can just come right on in, which is why that production room has 2 doors. So it can come in this way and go out that way.
Just with these like, loading carts.
Yeah,
and just running them.
So it makes it a little easier to move stuff around. And then we have a room here that is dedicated for just service. So if a shock needs to be rebuilt, or if somebody's getting an upgrade, or anything like that, that's where this is going to come to. And everything gets, you know, warranty or service forms to identify it and put in totes. And then that way the builder can take that stuff, repair it, or, you know, dissect it and analyze it and see what's going on with it.
I can't imagine that even that bag is that heavy though. No. It's probably super
Yeah, so
light.
that can hold
wow.
6 tons, and how much do you think that probably weighs? Like
100, not even.
Not even.
Maybe.
I guess lightweight.
40 pounds.
Don't trip. I see these right here and I'm like, how many people buy CRZ coilovers? A lot?
That's probably the second or third set right there. So this was all part of the Black Friday scratch and dent sale. So
Oh, like, yeah.
yeah, so this is
Scratch
a
and
set
dent
we
sale.
used to prototype it, and then now it's ready to go whenever somebody else wants it.
So I think they're pretty cool actually.
Yeah, so we've got a little machine shop for like prototyping, like we make all the prototypes and stuff. So
I honestly want to look at the lathe.
go for it.
I think that's like more of like a personal thing. And
Yeah.
no one on YouTube probably would want to do that. But
I've been watching a bunch of lathe
videos,
Yeah.
and they're just so cool.
Watch a bunch of Chinese, like.
Oh, this is a dude that I randomly came across too. He's like making wood stuff. Like something like
Wood stuff.
I don't know what it is, but he makes stuff out of wood.
of YouTube is my
Yeah.
My weakness.
I start.
I get stuck.
I'll start on the Street Bandito channel, and I end up with wood turning knots and resin.
Yeah.
That
Have you
same
seen-
here.
Have
No
you seen
lie.
the weird Japanese guy that makes like different knives? Oh my
No,
gosh. He makes
there's a
like
lot of
kitchen
knife
knives.
channels. Yeah, there's a lot of knife
Oh,
channels.
he's so funny. He like has these little cows, and he's like different
He
sized cows.
won't pour water out of anything but this glass cow. He'll be right next to the sink. He'll fill up the glass cow and then pour it.
He
It's
has
like
3 different sizes for different grit sandpaper. It's all water and then a little ceramic cow.
right next to his sink. So you could just wet
So what
it from the sink.
What is that?
That's a mill.
Oh, okay. It looks something like out of Fallout.
So these cranks will move it.
Oh, okay. I just feel like I'm in Fallout right now. Just making a robot.
Yeah, so this allows us to do different things.
Where Xavier's
You
mind
need to
goes.
clean your lens.
Yeah, sure. Oh, why not?
Put a nice soft focus on it.
Yeah.
For sure getting quoted.
We were fortunate to have a generous tour of the shop today. Got some very fortunate to be here. Stickers. And it was a pleasure of meeting everybody. Handshake again.
Yep.
Officially.
Drive safe.
He's officially a new member. All right, like, comment, subscribe.
Outtake. Just keep rolling.
Cut. Oh, hell no, you making me seem like those creepy car people.